Are we recording? Do we start?
Yeah. Hey, Tanner, your floor is some other people's ceilings, okay?
Oh, thank you, Alex. Could you elaborate on what you mean by that?
Yeah, that's very strange of you to say that just out of the blue, Alex.
Yeah. Especially, with no context. That's really weird, man.
Well, I was just thinking about how good you normally look, Tanner. That was the context.
Oh, shit, okay. What are you trying
even when you look bad.
What are you doing after the pod? Joking. Me, 1 beer in? What are you doing after the pod?
Me, after we discussed Black Bears with Joe Rogan.
I don't get that reference. Black Bear's like the band? Or the guy?
Is that a
Black
band?
Bear?
I thought he always talks about bears or something. Like, he always talks about,
elk, I thought.
Okay. I mean, that's basically a bear, though. Just a herbivore.
It's a very graceful, beautiful bear.
Yeah.
Big. I've been to the Grand Canyon twice, and both times I've seen an elk. And both times I've been like, wow, that's a big animal.
How big?
I mean, they're I feel like they're 7 to 8 feet tall. I think my perspective is, you think they're just going to be like deer. And, deer are they're not tiny, but they're not very big. So when you see an elk, it's like midway between a moose and a deer. And that's pretty big. So, pretty impressive. Right, Daniel?
Yes.
Nice.
I'm not sure what you're getting at here.
I wanted to ask you, do you have moose where you're at?
Meese. I believe it's meese.
Oh, you're right, Tanner.
This is the Experience Podcast with me and someone else.
And someone else. And that other someone else is Alex. He's a very popular guest on the show, and he started off with a very great cold open because he was praising me.
Yep.
And today on today's podcast, we're just going to keep it lively. We're going to keep everyone filled in. We're going to, we're going to keep it going. First, let's talk about that Georgia Tech W versus Miami.
Oh, man. I get it's on a stat sheet, it's a W, but they kind of handed that to us.
Yeah, no, it was pretty dirty. Like the first half, I was going in and out of watching it, and I remember going back to my room, kind of like, Carl, all right, I think the game's over. And then I hear him yell, "Oh, they fumbled!" And I rushed back in, and that was some of the more exhilarating moments of, I think, my young adult life. Probably, that's got to be a highlight of 2023. I don't know if that says a lot about 2023, but at least for me. But, that was a personal highlight. Sorry, where were you in the miracle on Miami?
Man, unfortunately, I was probably asleep in my bed. I didn't see it till the next morning, which shows you how much of a fan I am.
Yeah, what the hell?
Yeah, for real.
I'm shaking. I needed a beer. I was like, Carl, I'm shaking. I need a beer. Yeah. And I was laughing on the floor like the Joker. Not kidding. I was actually laughing at just how cosmically crazy it all is. Just after watching Georgia Tech's defense get just smushed by them the entire game, this one drive would I don't know what to call it. It was like a miracle. And
yeah, it was God smiting Miami.
It had to be. That was definitely divine intervention. The football gods punishing. They punish mistakes. That's for sure. Daniel, what about you?
Yeah, I was with a group of people, which I can't get into detail who those people are. But anyway, there were other people, and they were watching.
Protection program?
Huh?
Were they in the witness protection program? Why can't you get into it?
I can't reveal it for privacy reasons. Anyway, so I was with a group of people, and that was it was a Saturday night game, right? There are tons of sports going on. Everyone wants to watch different ones, and I kept saying, guys, let's watch the Georgia Tech game, and no one listened. And then the next morning, everyone was like, hey, we should have watched the game. Apparently it was amazing. And I said, yeah, I told you guys all last night we should watch it. Anyway, that's my contribution. So.
A genius is crazy until he's dead. That's what that makes sense.
Exactly.
Daniel. Well, I don't fault them for not wanting to watch a Georgia Tech football game, to be honest. To be completely 100% honest. But, well, I woke up, my reaction was when I saw
I know,
it.
But
I know, you gotta support the team. Well, I just laughed when I saw it. I was like, there's no way that happened. It was just like the condensed replay. And I saw the headline before. I was like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. Because Tanner was talking about cosmic. That's cosmically bad football. Insane.
Oh yeah, it was like a sicko game for the first half. Like defensive slugfest. It was gross. So I don't blame anyone for like, hey, it's a boring game. But, also they were expected to win by 3 scores. The halftime score was 3-0. Miami. So like
that's horrific.
It's a defensive battle of the wits. You have, and especially interesting because Georgia Tech, Bowling Green is hung 38 points on Georgia Tech. Miami was pulled like 3. So
competitive sports are a funny thing.
It was a crazy circle of suck.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I saw it was like Miami beat Miami, who beat Bowling Green, who beat Georgia Tech, who beat Miami. It's crazy.
And I still can't believe we got the point. I'm like mad because Bowling Green, before that, didn't they lose? They only scored like 9 points. And then after that, so they score 9 points and they lose the game before Georgia Tech. They play Georgia Tech. They score 38 points. They win.
Yeah.
And then the next game they get shut out and they don't score any points. It was a fucking like a different MAC team. I don't know, but it's just like, what the hell happened?
Yeah.
Miracles really do happen. And
they saved up all of their like energy, their mana or whatever for the one game against us, I guess.
I guess we were really, saving and channeling our mana for the Miami game. Maybe I don't know. 100%.
I'll take it.
Well, has anyone gotten fun trips? What's going on, Daniel? How was your trip? I know you started in Jacksonville.
Whoa.
Allegedly. I don't know how much.
Sorry, Alex. We were coming through Texas, so it wasn't really convenient for you. But, we started in Jacksonville, and then Tanner didn't want to see me in Atlanta, so
I had COVID, so that makes sense. Yeah.
Likely excuse, anyway.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Really true. I tested positive. Like, I thought I was feeling sick, and I was like, hey, I'm feeling sick, and I think I said one of the people I hung out with tested positive, and I found out later that week the reason I was tired and feeling sick was that I indeed did have COVID. So maybe it was a good thing, because it would have ruined your trip if you had spent it like sick. Presumably, like, tell me more about it. And actually,
go ahead.
Yeah, frame it about me, where me making this sacrifice is what empowered this trip to be just fantastic.
Tanner, let me say, without you, we still got sick. Right around when we left Nashville, Owen was feeling sick, and then I was feeling sick a couple of days later. So we were out camping in Yellowstone. We were both just feeling terrible. So
Oh,
wait, hang on. You said Jacksonville, and then also on the
there's
second trip was
Montana.
Yellowstone.
Oh, Alex. Oh,
Yeah.
Alex. Please sit down.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like
Yellowstone.
I need to hold on and like buckle my seatbelt for this.
We started in Jacksonville, but we had to get all the way to Seattle. And we only had one car.
That's like the road trip.
Yeah.
Can't
Beat it.
You
that's
start in
great.
Miami, but you're basically going across the country.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
like
no, we could've
actually,
gone there.
you put the cross in cross country and the country in cross country. So you put the cross country in cross country. That's impressive.
Yes,
Okay.
Jesus would be jealous of the cross we made. Yeah, what's up, Tanner?
Yeah, what were some of the highlights? Like, walk us through the whole thing. Like, how long did it take? What'd you do? Where'd you stop?
I don't know if I've talked about this in podcast. Probably not. We started in Jacksonville, as I've discussed. We went to Atlanta, where Tanner said he didn't want to see us. And then after that, we went to Nashville. And after that,
First,
what's that?
do you think you got sick in Nashville? What's that?
So let me start over. We went to Atlanta, where we met up with Noah and Garrett. And Noah texted me after the dinner that Garrett was sick with COVID. So, but here's the other thing. Owen tested himself when we were passing through Kansas, and he was negative for COVID. So we don't know. Maybe it was a flu. Maybe it was like a cold or something. We both had just like kind of generic fever-related symptoms, so it's hard to tell unless even with the test. But yeah. Anyway, he started to feel bad when we left Nashville. It's like one day after we were in Atlanta, or like a day and a half later.
And how much?
I don't know where.
How much how much driving do you think you did? Or like feeling sick? Because that just sounds awful. Like sick driving, just.
When when one of us was, because we were staggered. Like I was feeling fine for like 2 days, and then I got sick. So we had like a 2-day stagger for how we were feeling. But when one of us was like really bad, the other would drive for most of it. So I mean, it wasn't too bad. We never drove. I think the most we drove in a day was like 9 or 10 hours. That was like one day. Most of the days were like 7 or fewer. So we split it up enough. We did it over like 10 days.
So after Nashville, it was pretty much a mostly driving kind of thing. You didn't really stop anywhere. I imagine.
No, we went to St. Louis next. Because you got to get
How did you like St. Louis?
We stayed in a hotel right next to the Arch.
Oh.
Like you walk out and I think it's like not even 100 steps. And you're there. I think it's famously like it's on their website, like we're 100 steps from the Arch.
We're at the Arch. That's cool.
So we had to count it. But that was pretty good. Honestly, St. Louis was pretty sketchy at night. I mean, we went at a weird time. It was like a random Tuesday night, and there was like no one outside. I don't know. It was a little sketchy at night. We were in like the downtown area. Yeah,
downtown St. Louis has a pretty high homicide rate. So
yeah, I looked it up afterward. I was like, man, and it's like, yeah, it's like number 3 in crime after like Baltimore and LA or something, or maybe Detroit. Yeah, Baltimore, Detroit, and then it's like St. Louis. Yeah.
Nice.
So
that's where my family's from, so that's cool. I'm glad we represented.
I mean, that was like downtown St. Louis. Like, again, like right next to the Arch. But during the day, it was fine. It was more just like at night, we were like the only 2 people on the street, or you think you are. Which was weird because it was like, I mean, it was a random night, but why are the streets so empty?
Detroit was like that during the day. You guys went on Detroit.
That's true. Yeah, Detroit was also very empty. What's with these Midwest-ish cities being empty?
Like eerily empty for like a major metropolitan area. It's like, where is it?
Yeah. I mean, St. Louis isn't as big as Detroit, but still, like, you would think there would be like more than 2 people within a mile radius of you. Anyway, so that was St. Louis. Then we went to, we had to stop in like middle of nowhere, Kansas, because that was just as far as Kansas is big, guys. Okay, it's long.
Yeah.
And it meets all your expectations. It's just random fields. It's just one big field.
As in having no expectations, and it meets those.
Yes, yeah.
Did you do anything fun? You go to a corn maze or something?
In what?
Did you do like a corn maze? Was there anything fun in Kansas, or was it literally just a drive?
No. We just drove through. We stopped in a random town.
The corn maze is called I-70.
Yeah, basically. And then we went to Denver because Owen's brother lives in Denver. So we had to see him then. And that's when, oh, you know what? He was still feeling a little bad. Now, here's the other issue because, you know what? I have talked a little about this because I think I talked to Elizabeth about this. Is we went to Denver, which, as you know, is pretty high up there in elevation. And I think that didn't help. And so like you have allergies compounding on the illness. Plus like the elevation is probably not good for you in terms of like
getting the oxygen your body needs.
I definitely felt
like inflammation and things like that. Huh?
I definitely felt more of a headache when I was in Denver, so yeah, I can relate.
Yeah, no, this is real science. I mean, Tanner is the scientist of the 3 of us, but I'm pretty sure that's how it
is. Of all 3 of us, I can confirm that's probably not a good combination.
Yeah, the allergies, the elevation, and the illness. So Owen was not feeling great, but we hung out with his brother while we were there for like a day, and then we went camping, kind of, in the Colorado, Wyoming area for a couple days. One of those days was Yellowstone. All the stuff. And then that's when I started to feel really bad, was during the camping. So now we're sleeping on the ground with the allergies and the elevation. You're like 6,000 feet above sea level and you're still sick and all that.
That sounds really terrible.
So that was great. And now we went to Seattle. That was pretty much it. I mean, we went through Washington. We stopped one more place in Washington. But that was it.
And so then you reached the end goal, and then what?
And then I left.
I left him.
Yeah,
flew back.
Yeah.
Did you get 100? Did you do 100% completion, or did you have some achievements that you didn't complete all the way?
No. I think we did 100%. I'm trying to think if we had to skip anything. I mean, we didn't. It was tougher to do everything we wanted to do, especially the national parks. I mean, one was just for time. We just didn't have as much time. We could have stayed another day, I guess, but also both of us weren't fairly great, and I was especially pretty bad by then. I think one night. It was either the first or the second night. We went camping for 3 nights. I think it was the second night. I went to sleep at 6:30, 7 o'clock. It's like we set up the tent and I'm like, I'm just gonna pass out. And I don't know. Owen was eating dinner on his own at a picnic table. But yeah, so that was probably where we got squeezed. But the front half of the trip was, I think, was okay. We got to Atlanta a little late. I can tell Tanner that. We got there pretty late anyway.
How late? How late?
I don't remember. You want me a time? This was a month ago.
It was not late enough that you have an excuse to not see Tanner. That's what I'll say.
Oh no, yeah, no, because we probably got there around 6 or 7 o'clock. Because we had a pre-trip before this trip. because we flew to New York City and spent like a week there before then. So, so we didn't get back we didn't leave Jacksonville for Atlanta until like around midday. And that's like a 6-hour drive or so.
What was your favorite culinary experience along the way?
Favorite culinary experience?
Hey, I gotta ask.
It was the dinner that I could have had with Tanner.
My dinner with Tanner.
Yes.
Yeah, my dinner with Tanner. What did we? I'm trying to remember.
You guys are a real one.
Sounds like a good movie name.
Guys, you should make a student short film. My dinner with Tanner, and it's all about.
What is it though? Is it just? It's just a day in the life.
I guess it would be based on my dinner with Andre.
I mean, I figured, but also like, how are we going to make it Tanner related, or is it literally just the same thing but you?
I think Tanner could be some mysterious kind of like, not like wizard, but the person who knows a lot and then will like disappear behind a bus after they give you some sage advice. I think Tanner could play that kind of role, where he's this sort of mysterious, very wise, very sage figure, but he just looks like a regular 24-year-old guy.
Yeah, whether I'm even there in the first place. Tanner is an idea. Yeah.
He's like a physical manifestation of destiny or something.
As long as like the dialogue is tight and like intimate and an insightful exploration of the human condition, then I think we got something here. No one's doing this.
No, you're right. And since the writer's strike has ended, we definitely have some talent we could incorporate. Unless we want to keep it in-house, I'm totally fine with that. So I think we have the guys here,
3 of us. Who wants to? Yeah, Daniel, can you be the director? And then, so we have as like a Hearts of Darkness, and then we have like a Apocalypse Now version of My Dinner with Tanner, where Daniel's been such a over the top director, and the filming of My Dinner with Tanner was so extraordinary that they had to make a documentary movie about it. Right? Did I get that confused? Apocalypse Now is the documentary about Hearts of Darkness, right?
No.
Yeah, I think so.
I thought Apocalypse Now was just the Vietnam War movie. I think it was fictional.
Maybe I have it the other way around.
No, you're thinking of I think I know what you're talking about.
Apocalypse. Yeah, it was about Francis Ford Coppola. Apocalypse Now was the real movie, and then Hearts of Darkness is like the documentary of how they made it.
Oh. Nice.
We knew you meant.
Well,
go ahead.
Can we? I guess we can also. I'd like to brainstorm this idea of dinner, because I think dinner with Tanner. You think, oh, we're at a nice candlelit steak spot downtown or whatever. But are there other? Can dinner represent something else, like breaking of bread, a truce, or something like that? I'm just kind of spitballing here because I think it'd be fun to explore the title a little bit more since we have the Tanner part somewhat nailed down.
Yeah, I think we could play. It doesn't have to be My Dinner with Tanner. It just has to be. What if it's like? And I'm just saying this because I went to Disney, and I'm not just saying this because I went to Disney. I'm trying to brag about it. But like, what if it's stuck on a roller coaster with like a random person? Like, because I did a single rider one ride, and I just sat down next to this random dude. Or they sat me down. They're like, single riders. Right? So it's a random dude. And true to single rider form, I don't look at this man. I don't say anything to him. As soon as the ride ends, I turn left. I never looked at him or said anything. And it gets me thinking, what if we had the opposite of that? What if I looked at him? What if the ride got stuck? Like, what if it got stuck in the dark part? It was the Mount Everest ride at Animal Kingdom. Like, what if it gets stuck in the dark part? Right as the Yeti's attacking you. Like,
spoilers.
Maybe there's something,
What is the opposite of what you did? Like, what is the complete opposite of being on the ride, not looking at each other once? Is it merely, like, looking at him and talking, or is it something deeper?
I think it's like, it's intimate. That's what I'm looking for. Because that's the word I know is really associated with my dinner with Andre. And I have very, very surface level understanding of it. I just know it's about a dialogue between two old friends, I think. This is from Community. Community does a little episode pastiche referencing it. But like the dialogue is, the entire story. As they're catching up, they're, telling each other about their lives, and that's the movie. So the dialogue has to be the focus. So the dialogue's like, hey, my name's Tanner. Hey, my name's Brett. Sweet. What are you doing in this ride? Where are you from? I'm from Atlanta. I'm from Des Moines. That doesn't capture.
Is this the perfect dialogue? Okay, yeah.
You guys want to role play? Who wants to be Tanner and who wants to be Brett? I'll be Brett.
Oh my god.
Wait, Daniel, you're Tanner. You're Tanner, Daniel.
Oh my god.
Tanner. Okay. Alex, you're the director, and I'm Brett. And the story is called My Roller Coaster Broke Down with Tanner.
Perfect.
Okay. And I'll do the narration. The scene 1, act 1, opening. Tanner waits in line. The titular Tanner waits in line. They put him on the ride. I don't know. He looks over, exchanges a passing glance with Brett 2. Brett 2 looks at Tanner. They do a weird, white person half smile nod. I'm not showing anything, but you know what I mean.
I can feel how that looks.
You
Yes.
know what I mean? They exchange one of those. The ride goes off smooth start. It goes up and around. They both maintain a bit of distance between themselves on the seat. They go up the mountain. The ride gets stuck a little bit and then goes in reverse. And then inside the mountain, a cutscene's about to play with the Yeti. And the people who've been on the ride, they know what's about to happen. There's suspense. They're waiting for it. And they're waiting for it. And they're waiting for it. But the Yeti doesn't come out. The lights are all off. It's quiet. There's a palpable tension. And not because you're on a roller coaster and it's a thrill ride and you don't know what happens next. People are scared there's a malfunction and that it's going to break. And there's a little bit of fear and there's a little bit of uncertainty, but it's okay. Because everyone knows and trusts in Disney that they'll get the ride fixed.
Cue Tanner.
Cue Tanner with... Someone's got to say, we have to have, a Marvel-esque intro. Well, that happened, Tanner says. Entire ride laughs. Intercom voice. Oh what does the intercom voice say? Alex, you be the intercom, and I'm Brett, and Daniel, you're Tanner from now on. Okay, and go.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be advised we are having a malfunction on the ride. We should be able to get it fixed up in about 5 to 10 minutes. Please stay in the ride at all times. Do not attempt to exit the ride. We value your safety highly and will get you out as quickly as we can. Psh.
Well, this is just great. I left my wife and our infant son down there waiting at the finish line, waiting for me. Ugh.
Why is Brett's voice so low?
Because I wanted to not have it be Tanner.
Okay.
Tanner.
Tanner, I know Tanner being Daniel. We discussed this earlier. Remember, he's very worn down with his infant child and wife. He just wanted a little bit of alone time, so he's very tired. His voice is deep because he's feeling the exhaustion of raising a child. Please continue.
Daniel, respond. Because I'm doing a weird, semi-invitation to small talk. But it's not
Can you repeat your line? I forgot what the line was.
I guess my wife's going to have to wait a little bit longer. Go, Tanner.
I'm not sure how to respond to this. How's your day been? Tanner responds.
That's close. Daniel, okay.
Asked my wife. And I was going
to ask about your wife?
Yeah, what? And
I don't really want to just straight up ask about your wife. I feel like that's weird.
No, just...
Maybe Tanner would do that. Okay.
Intimate.
What's wrong with...
It has to be intimate. The dialogue has to be intimate. It has to tell a story. It's complete dark.
I'm sorry your wife feels that way.
It's got to be really... We have the mics very close to you guys. You know, in the later Harry Potters where they're always in dark areas and you can hear their S's and T's super clearly because they're super close mic'd because they're whispering all the time. It's got to be like that, okay? Get close, get personal. Daniel, the reason I think maybe you're suffering from a lack of confidence, you are the perfect person to play Tanner. No one can play Tanner like you, okay? You've got this.
Daniel, ask me about my wife.
I'm sorry your wife feels that way. I mean, what's wrong?
No, yeah, she's great and all, but she's been a real bitch lately.
No, don't say that. What's she been doing lately that's really gotten you off?
She's really I'm never gonna hear the end of this one. Somehow it's gonna be my fault. My fault the ride broke down. My fault the Yeti didn't come out. It's my fault her late...
Escalate.
Late dad died in a car accident.
Well, sometimes we have trouble expressing our feelings, and we take it out on those that are closest to us.
I know, but does it have to be me?
I think we need to understand that she's got a lot going on too, and maybe you two need to have a conversation about it with each other.
I'm emotionally available. I don't know what else you need from me. I was there when her dad died. I was there, not in the car that hit him and did a hit and run, but I was there for her. So I'm thinking of a little Easter egg.
Maybe she's just seeking that closure of finding the person that did that hit and run. Have you ever talked to her about the event itself that day?
I didn't think it was my place to bring up the event. I just wanted to be a shoulder for her to cry on.
And maybe that's fine at first, but probably now she's looking for something more. She needs a little more intimacy in that aspect.
Ice cold revenge?
No, I don't mean
that. A man
that.
behind you starts coughing violently.
Who starts coughing?
A man behind you starts coughing violently, suspiciously, with perhaps a twinge of guilt.
Oh, God.
Brett turns around. Excuse me, sir, are you okay? You're the man that started coughing, Alex.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. That sounds terrible. I would never want that to happen to anyone I love.
It is cold up here. Maybe you should get a blanket or something. You're nasty cough.
I have been rather ill lately.
Where were you on the night of October 6th?
Oh my God.
Why do you ask?
October 6th, 2013. Where were you?
Anyone else? Cold? You, Tanner was your name? Please, don't you feel cold?
No, I feel fine, and thank you for knowing my name, even though I haven't said it yet.
I knew it. I was like, I couldn't remember you said it. I said that. I'm like, shit. I don't think we've introduced him.
That's how the dialogue's intimate. Why does this guy... Wait, how do you know our names, coughing guy?
There you go. You know what? Hold on. I think I saw this coughing guy at the ride earlier.
Ride this ride all day, coughing guy? What is your name anyway, coughing guy? On the spot, right now. What is it?
And suddenly, the coughing stops. There's nobody there.
God, it's like Tom Hanks when he played the homeless dude in the Polar Express. It was all movement of our imagination. It was my pent-up anger, anxieties I feel toward not being able to protect, my wife's family and her feelings and just be there for her manifested themselves in this coughing guy. But you could see it too, right, Tanner?
I can see it. Maybe I'm feeling sympathetic toward you or for you because of how much time we've spent up here together. They said it was going to be 5 to 10 minutes, but it's definitely been longer.
No, it must have been. It must have been at least 3 days.
A low D flat rings out in the basses.
Was that a D flat?
No, I don't think so.
I say that in character and friend.
That's actually, my goal is an F. Oh wait. Oh no, I'm sorry.
Was that a D flat? Maybe I'm going stir crazy. I've lost track of time. I've manifested people in this darkness. Maybe it was me. Maybe I was the one on October 6th, 2013. I know what I did, but I can't come to terms with it.
You begin to cough.
Is that it? Is that the fade out, or is it?
Oh no! Wait! I had a dramatic. That click was out of me unclicking my seatbelt. Daniel, respond.
Hey, what are you doing?
Something I should have done a long time ago.
No.
The Yeti comes out. Fade to black. Credits roll. Whoa, that chills, guys. Chills.
That's when everyone, like, when they finish recording the scene, everyone looks around on the crew is like, yeah, that was the one.
That was great.
Well done, actors.
Thank you. I really like the stylistic choice where Daniel played me and I played Brent. That would be a kooky director would do. Like, but you'd have to be uber talented to pull it off. To not only have a self-insert as you, but also to not play it as the director is insane.
And then you have a different cameo of actually you acting as someone else briefly.
And then in a cutscene or cutscenes from a video game, a flashback of Daniel as me. It's me as like me with like like if it's like if it's like Tanner at a young age instead of like Daniel de-aged, it's like just regular Tanner me, but with like a little spinny propeller hat and an oversized lollipop. That's the kind of stylistic choice we need. What do you think we should call it?
I like A Dinner with Tanner. I don't get the reference. Honestly, I haven't heard of that. A Dinner with Andre before. I like how it rolls. A Dinner with Tanner rolls off the tongue, though. But I don't know if we really explored dinner much in there, so we could definitely name it something else.
So
dinner is a metaphor,
Yeah, the dinner is the metaphor. Well, okay, so I asked ChatGPT because that's what I do nowadays. Not because its name generation is like clever and it can ever, reach the human ingenuity of like beautifully crafted names and, beautifully crafted like prose. But like I always like to see, and like in a jeering way, to see what it comes up with. So I was like, hey, what if it's My Dinner with Andre, but it's about two guys stuck on the Escape from Everest ride? What would it be called? And they said, call it Conversations at Altitude. Which I just think is funny because it's like, I think it misses the nuance of what we were talking about entirely. I think there was a lot of powerful stuff, a lot of powerful emotions. There was an Easter egg in there. There was misdirection. There was Tom Hanks, the homeless guy in Polar Express, was in there. Was that guy homeless? Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
I don't.
Crazy.
I think he was.
That stayed on the Polar Express, and he brewed a cup of Joe on the top of the train. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
He scared me. The part where he vanishes and disappears and fades.
Yeah, he's like the quintessential hobo.
I just remember that part freaking me out as a kid.
Yes.
All in the puppet scene. Those are I still to this day I will look away.
Puppet scene is definitely spooky.
What
were they putting in that hot chocolate? Am I right?
Why'd they have to make it that scary?
Yeah.
What? It's a kids movie. Let's keep it bright and happy. Keep the music going because that music was a banging soundtrack.
It was super good.
Well, needless to say, I'm excited for Christmas this year, and maybe we'll have a Christmas themed episode.
What does that mean though? What are we doing?
What was a Christmas themed episode?
We could do a retrospective, a look back at all of our favorite holiday moments together, us three.
A top 10
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah, when shows or whatever have no ideas and they do a look back.
A clip show. Yeah. And we need Daniel, if you're ever feeling it, you need to make The Experience podcast clip show.
That would honestly be so much work.
I know.
That would be a lot of work.
I had to listen back to over 270 episodes.
270?
Wow, one for every day of the week. That's impressive.
Yeah, 273.
That is really impressive. That is so much content, produced to. When you think about
it, you are the producer, so you would know that.
Well, I am. I think I do get producing credits on this.
I like being
someone else. I'm the financier, so I can put my name as a little type.
Yes, Tanner. For our listeners, Tanner has donated a lot of money to make sure this podcast happens. So,
Yeah. I'm like the permanent sponsor.
yeah.
Yeah, you're the one that gets like the gigantic font on the wall or like multiple bricks on the walkway.
Mm-hmm.
Or like a really big brick.
The podcast studio that we're recording this in after me. Because we are in a recording studio that is very luxurious. And the chairs swivel around. And there's a guy at the front door that he's like a security guy, but he's pretty chill. But he doesn't just let anyone in, and you have to say, hey, I have an appointment. And he goes, okay, go this way. And, like, we have, like, a fountain in the lobby of this place, this recording studio lobby entrance. And there's, like, a really nice waiting room. And the bathrooms are really well kept. We use a third-party provider to make sure that they're cleaned, and the janitor staff is so friendly. I've bumped into the janitorial staff. They've been nothing but helpful, and we are so grateful for them. Because without them, this studio wouldn't be anything. And it wouldn't be anything without the people in the studio. So, this is just me giving back to me. This is my studio. But it's our studio, anyway. Because if it was my studio, why would I want it to be my studio? I'd want it to be our studio. I hope that makes sense.
I think I'm on the same page with you, and I just wanted to say thank you for your continued generosity throughout the years, Tanner. It means a lot.
No problem. And thank you, everybody, for listening to this week's episode of The Experience Podcast. You can find us wherever podcasts are sold.